my body was ready. My body was like, get all the talking down or whatever, and whatever. Let's just go. Let's get it. My body was clearly ready for this surgery. To my channel, YouTube. It is so good to see you guys today. Hey, if you're a first time viewer, you've never seen me before, welcome to this neck of the woods. Please consider subscribing. For all of my returning subscribers, welcome back. I love you guys. You know I do. I hope you like this channel. I hope you love this video. And now let's talk about what life has been like for me since having my VSG surgery just 3 weeks ago. Stay right there. So I have a notebook. You guys hear a million YouTubers say, oh, I'm looking at my notes, looking at my notes. Well, I'm looking at my notes, y'all. So as you guys know, I had what's called the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, or what's commonly known as VSG surgery for obesity and obesity-related health issues. That's why I chose to go that route. You can take a look at my playlist. I created an entire playlist called My Health Journey, so you can follow along from the very first consult appointment that I had through all of my subsequent appointments to kind of see how things went for me, all the way up to the day of surgery, which is this video. I'm going to be looking at my notes like I just said. So here we go. So guys, on the day of surgery, you can see me here walking down the hall. I felt like I was walking the green mile or the last mile with this guy to go get me registered, to get me checked in, and they place you in what's called a holding room. And I thought that I would be in a room like by myself being prepped, but there were like other people in the room as well. We were separated by curtains, but still one room. And you know, the prep there for me, I think took a little over an hour, maybe an hour and a half. They weren't consistently prepping me that long, but I was held in that room for about that long. So I do remember the IV going in. I do not remember being wheeled into the operating room. I do not remember being moved from one table, or I'm sorry, from my bed to the operating table. I don't remember being asked to count backwards. I don't remember any of that. So my body was ready. My body was like, let's just get all the talking down or whatever, and whatever. Let's just go. Let's get it. My body was clearly ready for this surgery. So if you take a look at my playlist, you can either take a look at all the videos. They're all in subsequent order from the very first appointment I had regarding the consultation, to all of my examinations, clips of everything, the way I was feeling, things I had to do, things I didn't want to do, changes I had to make, things like that. You'll see what I'm talking about. So now we are finally here. School is now in session. All right, guys, so in recovery, believe it or not, guys, recovery is not as bad as you would think it was. I had what was called a hiatal hernia, so they had to repair the hernia while they were inside doing the actual VSG surgery. So I had almost 2 major surgeries in one. Like, there were 5 incisions, and you know, this video is not for the faint of hearts, and I'm a faint of heart, so I should talk. But if you don't like seeing battle wounds or what have you, then you might want to skip this part. But I'm going to show you guys, there are 5 incisions that were made, and here they are right now. And I can say the only incision out of all 5 incisions that really hurt was the actual one that they used to pull the stomach, the 80% of the stomach that they cut away, that they pulled the stomach out of. The other ones, I promise you, I did not even feel. And then the next thing that was painful were the gas pains. Oh my goodness. So imagine yourself having to go poop, or just having gas so bad and you just can't do it. You just have to hold it, and that feeling that you get in your tummy that just hurts so bad, that's exactly what it felt like. But it's not in your tummy. It's actually, let me put this on for a second. It's actually right in here in your breastbone area, like right there. It is very intense, like, because you have to think, when they are in your abdomen doing this surgery, they pump a whole lot of gas in your abdomen to be able to see around your organs and to see what they're doing. So, you know, anesthesia makes your lungs and your intestines sort of go to sleep for a while. Like after surgery, they'll sort of be sluggish, if anything at all, for at least a few days. So because of that, there's really nowhere for that gas, residual gas, to go. So it kind of sits here in the middle of your chest. To me, it felt like someone was stabbing me in my chest, or like squeezing like really hard. Like I just don't know how to explain it, but that was the worst. They did give me some Miralax while I was in there. I think I drank maybe half a cup of that, but that gas pain was the worst out of the entire experience. I didn't feel like any pain like I thought I would feel like, because essentially your stomach is being amputated. So I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to be experiencing this incredibly painful feeling from having my stomach cut off. But when I promise you, there's no pain from the actual organ being removed. None. The pain is all exterior, and the pain is gas. If you're considering the surgery, expect to immediately be walking. Like, I was in recovery for maybe 3 hours, and I was up walking. They make you walk around because that is actually what helps the gas pains. And it also helps with any development of blood clots. And walking wasn't very bad either. Like, I enjoyed it. I actually woke up the next day at 3 in the morning, and they were like, we heard you were up walking. I was just walking like, low-de-dee-de-day. When they prepared me too, I'm gonna back up a little bit, they put a little patch behind my left ear, a nausea patch. I did puke shortly before I started my walking, but it wasn't like an actual vomit per se. It was just like more like spit or something. Like, I felt nauseous and puked up a little bit, and that was kind of that. That was the only time I felt nauseous. And we're three weeks out, guys. That was the only time I felt nauseous immediately after surgery. The only time I puked. They sent me home with nausea medication to be used as I needed it, but I never needed it. They had me taking tiny sips of water. And when I say tiny, I'm talking medicine cap tiny that we give our children liquid medicines in. Seriously, like, in that little cup there would take me like 15 minutes to finish drinking, because you can only go so fast, or your stomach, you will feel incredible pressure and pain if you go too fast. They also had me using a spirometer to strengthen my lungs, because like I said, anesthesia does sort of affect things and make them go to sleep. And so if your lungs aren't working at full capacity, then you run the risk of developing pneumonia, which is fluid settling in your lungs, and we certainly don't want that. So with the spirometer, I had to use that 5 to 10 times per hour for every hour that I was awake at the hospital, and then for the first week after the hospital at home. I mean, at first it was a challenge, but it got easier as time went on. And so it forces your lungs to open completely up from the bottom up to, get whatever is in there or may have started accumulating in there out. And it was working too, because I would cough or I would bring up a little bit of something. I've never had to have iron infusions in my entire life. Now, when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, I remember my mother saying that I was slightly anemic, but I sort of remember that, and I just, let it go over time. But at my last visit pre-op, they told me my iron was a little low and to start taking iron. So I did that. But I guess it was low enough for me to have to get 2 iron infusions. So I told my mom about this, and she goes, oh yeah, your iron has always pretty much been low. And I'm like, really, Mom? When was I gonna know this? Like, I never knew this as a part of my medical history. So now that's going to be a factor for me to make sure that I'm getting all of my iron so I don't hurt myself. It probably explains like a lot of my fatigue pre-surgery. I just never knew. So Mom, shame on you. And y'all moms out there, y'all make sure y'all letting y'all kids know what their medical history is. So, I'm just saying. Okay. Guys, you must know that, because I asked the surgeon, I said, well, I know that like with the incisions, the stitches are dissolvable and they use Dermabond glue on top. But as far as the stomach was stapled along, the severed line or what have you. When I spoke with the surgeon, I was told that they are titanium staples that will stay with you for the rest of your life. So call me the bionic woman, y'all. She said skin would, eventually grow around those staples or what have you, but they are there to stay. You don't feel anything. Nothing like that. Now, if I go back to work and I go to staple some paperwork and the staple gets stuck to my gut, then we're going to have a problem. So a good thing that happened for me after surgery is I was taken off of 5 medications. 5. Y'all probably like, wait, what? You're taken off of 5? There's more? Yes, unfortunately, there were about 9 medications, mostly for high blood pressure and water retention. But then there was one they put me on for diabetes. I had a new diabetes diagnosis. And one is for, the thyroid hormone, because if you look at previous videos, you'll know that I do not have a thyroid anymore. That's a whole story. And I think this is also a contributor to my weight issue, having hypothyroidism. So I was really happy about that, to be off 5 medications. There is one that they gave me I will only be taking for 3 months. And that's just to prevent your stomach from getting ulcers as a result of the surgery. So I'll be down to 3 meds, unless, being God's will, they take me off the other 2 blood pressure medicines in time altogether. So there are good things, guys. If you're on medications, you could potentially come off. I just want to give a huge shout out. And this one doesn't need notes. Let me take these off. I want to give a huge shout out to Dr. Leslie Pristis. She is an amazing surgeon. She's so knowledgeable. She doesn't make me feel, or anyone feel, rushed. She doesn't make you feel like you're asking too many questions. Like, she just leaves that door wide open. Big thanks to Christine, to Tanyelle, my patient advocate, to Cindy Aaron, my bariatric nutritionist, to Erica Lau, my nurse practitioner. Erica! Even to Crystal, the girl who weighs me in every time I go in, everybody at the front desk. There was nothing, even the housekeeping staff. Okay, so what I did wrong was I moved this big old chair, leather chair, from one side of my room to the other side because I wanted to see my TV better, and I didn't want to be sitting in my bed all the time. Didn't know I shouldn't have been doing that. That chair weighed a good amount. So this housekeeper was in to do her job, but she helped me to move the chair. We were talking. She actually admonished me, you should be doing that. Just so sweet. And they even left me a card. Like, out of all of my inpatient stays, I don't think I've ever had that kind of treatment from housekeeping staff. So I just wanted to shout them out, guys. If you ever go to St. Vincent Medical Center in Cleveland, Ohio, you're going to be in for a great, great, great time. Well, not a great time with the surgery, but, with the staff. Now, back to the classroom. Now, since I've been discharged, I can tell you guys like a bazillion things off the top of my head, but again, I want to stick to my notes because I don't want to miss out on anything, because I digress a whole lot and I just don't want to miss out anything. So I'm doing pretty good with my fluid and protein intake. The first 2 weeks I was on full liquids, meaning nothing solid, obviously, just like thinned out yogurts, and that's kind of what they gave me at the hospital, like yogurts and soups. Soups have been my best friend, and it's crazy because I've never been a soup lover. Like, most of my life is like, soup is a joke. Like, I want some meats, I want a sandwich, I want some fries, but soup has become like a go-to for me. Protein shakes, things like that, like Jell-O, stuff like that. So that was the first couple weeks. You're required to do at least 30 minutes of walking per day. So however you want to break it up. We're not talking walking from the bedroom to the kitchen or walking to the TV to the bathroom. We're talking walking in the form of exercise. Not that you have to be walking 5 miles an hour on the treadmill. Not that necessarily, but just walking where you can at least feel that you are having somewhat of, of exercise. So for me, I started doing like 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. And then I graduated to just doing like 15 and 15 on the treadmill. Honestly, I have not gone every single day like I know I should. I make sure every time I think about it, like, oh, I didn't go or whatever, I make sure, I get back on it. And my daughters, they're so sweet. They know their mom. They know how inconsistent I can be. They actually came over on one of my workout days and worked out with me. That was the sweetest thing. Like, oh, look at my babies, y'all. And those girls are so amazing. They're 30 and 32 years old. 30 and 32 years old with children, and they look like I used to look. Matter of fact, I don't even like them heifers no more. They took my body. So I did experience some discomfort when I drink too fast. That was so true. What the doctors tell you, sip slowly. Don't think you're gonna be gulping and all. I don't care how thirsty you are, you cannot do that. Being allowed to have popsicles, sugar-free popsicles, really has helped, because when you're really thirsty and you just want to keep guzzling, you just can't do that. And then I don't want to potentially do anything to stretch my sleeve. I don't want to mess myself up. And you know, sipping all day is critical because it'll keep you hydrated, because you have to remember your stomach is the size of a banana now. Like, your stomach was shaped like a pouch. So when 80% of that is removed, you're left with a banana shaped stomach. So you're not going to get much, which is why it's critical to take your vitamins on a regular every day, and to make sure you're sipping all day, getting some kind of fluid, mostly water, every single day. Now, for me, my BMI was pretty up there. So I had to be sent home with blood thinner injections, and it scared the bejesus out of me, because I'm thinking I've never had to inject myself with a needle in my entire life. But I had to do that for 2 weeks, guys, in my tummy. The first injection I let my daughter do because I was so afraid to do. And so she did it, and it sort of hurt a little bit, but she didn't know what to do either. She just sort of did it. I just want to shout her out, my daughter Brianna. Business plug, Sixth Sense Boutique, or Sixth Sense Fashion. Go follow her, y'all. She's an entrepreneur, great girl. If you want the best, cutest fashion, the cutest clothes out there, you need to hit her up. I'm gonna put her website right there. She's, you know, you can order online, or if you're in the area, you can her shop as well. So my injections were, I took them at 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. because it's twice a day. So the next morning, Brianna was still asleep. So I pulled up my figurative sleeves and like, let's just get it, sister. We're gonna have to do this. And I did it. And you know, it didn't even hurt. Like, it, I was like, really? And so, you know, that was my story for 2 weeks. Some days it did sort of hurt because I believe I was putting like too many injections in the same area. Maybe it was developing like some little scar tissue or something underneath, subdermally, or subcutaneous, whatever, you know, under the skin. So I felt like a real baddie though, because I'm like, I was giving myself injections. Yep, who does that? I do that. Yeah. The first week, I was so discouraged, because the first week I wasn't really losing any weight. Like, and again, I'm on the 3rd week now, guys. I wasn't losing much of anything, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, I'm drinking only fluids. I'm not eating food. Like, why am I not losing anything? So, but then, you know, the surgeon had to remind me that you're still healing. You're only like, you're fresh out of surgery. There's so much swelling, like, so your esophagus isn't affected by the surgery. Your esophagus is still the same, right? Like, for instance, if your esophagus is like this, right? After surgery, the opening to your stomach is going to be maybe like this, because of all the swelling and just the decrease in size. It's just going to be super small. That's why it's uncomfortable if you start to eat too soon, or if you are drinking too fast. And I also downloaded the Veritastic app. It's a great tool to make sure that you're staying on track. Another thing though I was struggling with is knowing when I'm hungry and when I'm not hungry. I guess the body doesn't know the difference between hunger and thirst. So for me, like, I'd be sitting at a desk or watching TV or whatever, and I'd just be thinking about food, like, okay, what am I gonna eat next? Or how many calories can I have? Just thinking about food. So I plan to speak with my therapist with regard to why I eat out of boredom. Like, what is that? Why I eat when I'm not really hungry. And then again, I have to learn how to identify if I'm hungry at all. I didn't do this surgery for nothing, and I don't want to set myself back because because let's face it, I love food, and I don't want to set myself back because that's all I'm thinking about is food. And then every day I'm going to be going over my caloric intake. So today is Thursday, September 8th, 2022. And it is exactly 3 weeks since my surgery. And I'm a little disappointed, but I'm only down like 12.5 pounds. I don't know, I just feel that I should be losing more. That would be a negative. I spoke to my clinician about this concern, and she said I'm actually right on track with where I'm supposed to be. She also stated that there are hills and valleys with this surgery, and suggested that I simply stay off the scale every day. So y'all, don't be like me. Still, I just feel like I'm stalling. So I've been at the same weight. 256.4 is where I'm at today. And my surgery date, I was at 268.8. So it's just like 12.4 pounds. And I'm trying not to get discouraged. You know, I try not to obsess about weight. I decided this morning to start measuring myself. So just hoping for some more progress on that scale really soon, guys, because that's what I did it for. I'll keep you guys posted on that. Let's get back to the classroom with my final thoughts. In conclusion, guys, even with all that my body has been through, you know, the necessary restrictions, the things I can no longer have, the necessity of daily exercise, all of that, I wouldn't even change a thing. In fact, I would do it all over again, because I know I can see myself on the other side, even though right now I'm being very impatient. The surgery has given me a new lease on my life, a second chance to show God, to show myself that I value this gift called life, that I remember and realize we get one life. I remember and realize my whole reason for starting this channel, and that is to bounce back from adversity, from things you may have gone through in your life, which may have taken you to your knees, so to speak. Okay, that may have taken you to a breaking point that you thought you'd never bounce back from. Face it, like I told you guys in a few videos, I've said this over and over, and I'm gonna keep saying this. Without good health, you will never live your best life. Period. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care who you are, who your connections are, but you, if you, not your connections, not mama and daddy's money, not your estate, but you, if you are not in your best physical, emotional, psychological, mental health, you will never realize your very best life. And so that's what I want for myself. And I'm hoping that you guys want this for yourselves too. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section for me. If you have any comments or any advice, have you had this surgery? Are you considering it? Does somebody else that you know, or did someone else that you know have the surgery? Is there anything you share with me? Like, let's communicate, let's talk. Remember, guys, to comment. Remember to share the video. Remember to like, hit the thumbs up. That's how you like the video. That's how you help YouTubers like me to grow. There are so many people out there, especially in my community, the African American community. We are so plagued with all these different obesity related diseases based on what we eat and lifestyle. We often just take it like, okay, I'll just take that pill dot, or I'll just take this extra pill dot, or I'll just whatever, without realizing that there are options. You don't have to be obese. You don't have to deal with certain things resulting from obesity. There are other options if you are not strong enough to do this on your own, right? And I feel that BSG is a great option, and I'm only 3 weeks out, but I'm already feeling better, as if I've done something good for myself. Now, this isn't your magic pill, guys. It won't just poof, you're gonna be skinny at midnight. You still got work to do. You still got habits to change. You're not living a life of deprivation. Don't look at it like that, because you will fail. So, but it's just a life of being serious, you know, with yourself, talking to yourself. You know how people have meetings. Check in with yourself once a week. How am I feeling? How did I do here? What could I have done differently? You know, there's going to be something required of you. The exercising, not necessarily running marathons, but just getting something in to help your body. And that all comes from a place of love, self-love, determination. I forgot to tell you about the pureed stage. So I told you about the full liquid diet I was on for 2 weeks, and I told you everything that's involved with that. The pureed phase is I can have pureed meats. I can't remember the calories allowed for the liquid diet, but for the pureed stage, I can only have between 500 and 600 calories. That's it. I'm supposed to eat 3 meals a day. Each meal is 1/4 of a cup, or 2 ounces of food per meal. And honestly, that's enough, because like, I had to get familiar with what it feels like to be full. That's even in the book. Like, there's a section there like, how will I know when I'm full? because it's a different sensation. The fullness comes from a certain pressure in your chest. When you feel that pressure, you just have to, it's best to stop eating. But what I was doing before, like I would feel the pressure and a little bit of pain, and I would keep eating just to make sure I'm getting my quarter cup in. Well, the book says you may not always be able to finish your quarter cup. So I should not have been going out to finish it. But you know, it's a lesson. Everything is a lesson. Everything is a learning thing, right? I'm always in school when it comes to this surgery. So yeah, you can have pureed different meats, different vegetables, as long as they're soft. I can have Wendy's chili, guys, but only a quarter cup, and it's got to be pureed. Yeah, so life is not over after surgery. You can still eat. Right now, your stomach is still healing, obviously, and your body is like, wait, what? Wait, what? You know, so you got to take it slow. But I'll be able to eat regular food again, but I just have to really be mindful of the size of my stomach and my why, like why I did this in the first place. So you can do this. I hope I've inspired someone out there, if it's just one person. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, don't forget to subscribe, share this video with your friends, hit the thumbs up, like button, and I'll see you in the next video. Wait, I gotta get up because y'all know I like to dance. Yeah, I want